ご覧ください。僕ね、50周年を迎えたスコーピオンズがロックビリーバーっていうふうに自らを言い、あるいは世界中のスコーピオンのファンにロックビリーバーだよねって問いかけてるっていうのが、これはやっぱり50周年迎えたバンドじゃないし、非常に若々しいエネルギー感じますけど、その辺どうですか？
Thank you. I mean, is there a rock believer? If there's a rock believer, I mean, it's got to be the Scorpions. The Scorpions are the essence of rock believers, doing what they're doing for so many years. So, like when I talked about the bands like Stones, the Who, Beatles, and so on, this inspiration from the early 60s on lasted a lifetime, you know. So, and yeah, we wanted to make an album that reactivates this typical Scorpions DNA, and rock believer is just so many people over the years we saw saying rock is dead, you know, because of alternative. Now in these days it's rap, it's hip hop, it's so very popular. I guess it's no different in Japan as well, you know. So it's very popular, but rock is not that at all, because there's so many, and there are millions of rock fans around the world. They still enjoy classic rock music, and especially in Japan, I think the fans in Japan, they are really like very loyal fans, and they go through generations. It's like the older ones, like our generation, they pass it on to their children, to the brothers, younger brothers and sisters, you know. So they check it out on YouTube, they see the band and they like it or they don't like it. They go, if this band comes to my country, my city, I go with my friends. We have a great night out rocking with a great band with so many powerful songs, and we have a good time, you know. So rock is not that at all. So the song Rock Believer is very much dedicated to all the rock believers around the world.
今回はクラウスの方から歌詞をルドルフに送ったりとか、いつもと順番、逆だったってルドルフ言ってるみたいですけど、歌詞こんなに早くいっぱいかけた理由は何ですか？
I think, to be honest, I was afraid Rudolf would send me 20, 30 demos with like scratched out vocals, and I have to scratch my brain and start writing and put the words on the music like a design, really, you know. And this is what I did for so many years, like songs like the Zoo, you know, da 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 da, or Rock You Like a Hurricane. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. So I always had to find the words to his riffs or to his. Sometimes he also came up with beautiful melodies, you know. I might have changed it a little bit here and then, you know, but I always wrote the words to the music. And this time, I wanted to challenge myself to be a storyteller. I asked myself, what is it, after all these years, what is it what you want to say? You know, what will this album be all about, you know? And so it's not so easy. And it's a challenge for yourself. Are you still creative enough after all these years to write great lyrics, you know? And this is, I guess, why I started in early 2019. And I think the first one I wrote was Shoot for Your Heart, which starts like, this is the beginning, you know? And I thought, this is crazy, after all these years to write a song like this is the beginning. But it gave me a good start. And then, like I said, I went into those country, city, special moments kind of storytelling line, you know. And How Close the Lights came up, and I had a beautiful song for France or for the UK, another good one. And so this gave me like a line to follow before I left it, and I went other places. But it was a good experience. And like in Gas in the Tank, the first song on the album, there's a line saying, give me a dirty riff, my friend. There's got to be some more gas in the tank. So it was like a letter I was writing to Rudolf, who was in Thailand at the time. It was like a dialogue, hoping he would come back with some strong songs, some great riffs, and so that way, when I found myself into this storytelling kind of thing, it felt great because I was free of any construction. I could construct it the way I wanted. And Rudolf this time had to work the other way around to put the music on the words. And like looking back now, he's saying every other day, for him it was great. It inspired him also very much to have a picture. So like sending him like lyrics like "Knock Him Dead," for example, which was about when we played in America the first time, and our managers before we went out on stage said, "Go out, knock him dead," So, and I was sure sending Rudolph those words, he would definitely not come back with a ballad on this one. It's gonna be a hard rocking track, and he did. And he did a great job on it.
今ね、ノックエムデッド、ツアーの時にね、アメリカンツアーのそういうふうに言われた、結構昔のことですよね。それからアウト・フォー・ザ・ライズとレキシントン・ピンク出てきますけどね、レキシントン・コインなんか随分前に作れてないんですよ。で、クラウスは記憶力がいいんじゃないかと思うんですよ、やたらに。それ自分のことどう思うんですか？
I mean, it's all memories we share, At least Rudolf, Matthias, myself, at the time. Now we have Nicky D in the band, Pavel Machivoda since 2003. Nicky is with us since 2016. And of course, Nicky has his own memories of touring Japan with Motorhead, I guess, But yeah, there is a huge a huge source of inspiration where all these stories are coming from along the way, like when we played the first time in England, And of course, like I said, Japan was always very special for us. Japanese fans treated us so nicely, and I remember coming out in some Plaza Hall. I think it was the first or second day, I was running out and the stage was so slippery, and I think I was flying over the edge of the stage into the audience, and it was like Buddha was going, oh no. And yeah, those shows were very special. When you listen to it today, there's so much energy, it's so powerful. It stood the test very well, this record, I think, and it became a classic for so many fans. It became one of the most successful live albums, And so, it's been a long run, but when you, like in 2019, when we had this in the first half, in 2019, there was no shows. We picked up the tour in the summer, and so the whole time between January and May, June, I had a lot of time to really dig into it and try to figure out and tell stories and just try to find great words, for hopefully great songs, because there was no music. And I enjoyed it so much, to be a writer. And I mean, yes, I wrote in a couple of songs. I wrote the music too, like "Shoot for My Heart" or "Rock Believer" was pretty much my song. Could have had a C part up in the end of the chorus as a pretty powerful C part that came from Rudolf, but pretty much it was my song. But I was not so much focusing on writing my own music as well. It was more, let me do the lyrics and let's try to focus on the songwriting team, Schenker Meine, And of course, Matthias was involved as well. He came also up with his own compositions, and sometimes he had also some lyrics and stuff. So he joined the party also later on. in terms of songwriting. And so did Pablo Machiboda, who did Peacemaker together with Puro. And even Mickey D came up with ideas for songs and was very much involved in the whole process and gave the band in the studio a great fresh shot of energy. It was fantastic to record this album all together in one room and to really not to work in different places, sending photo sessions back and forth, just to be in one place and really interact and play the songs live, you know. And so, like when we work on the set list for the new show now, normally you would play maybe 2 or 3 songs by the most of new tracks in the show, in a new show. But this time looks like we have between 5 and 6, you know. And that's pretty crazy, you know, but it shows how well the new songs connect with our classic material.